It happened one night after filming wrapped. The studio was almost empty. Just the sound of a camera trolley being rolled away and the echo of laughter fading through the corridor. Telly stayed behind, as he often did, pacing the dimly lit set of Kojak, cigarette in one hand, lollipop in the other. Then she appeared. The woman from the production team, the one everyone whispered about but no one dared to mention aloud. For months, they had hidden their connection behind professionalism, glances, and late-night talks no one was supposed to notice. But that night, something broke. A stagehand who'd forgotten his coat returned to the set and froze. In the soft glow of the studio light, he saw them, Telly Savalas and the young woman, standing close, whispering, and then a kiss. Not the kind for cameras. Not for publicity. It was slow, real, dangerous. He didn't shout. He just turned away, pretending he hadn't seen. But by morning, the whispers had returned, louder than ever. Some said the woman was dismissed quietly weeks later. Others claimed she requested a transfer to another production, unable to bear the tension. No one knew for sure, because Telly never spoke of it again. When asked about the rumors, he smiled that famous smirk and said, "You saw what you wanted to see. Baby." But his friends noticed something different afterward. The lollipop, once a symbol of his swagger, now carried a kind of melancholy. He'd hold it longer, roll it between his fingers, like a reminder of something sweet he could never taste again. That kiss, seen by one man, whispered by dozens, denied by both, became part of Hollywood's shadow folklore, a scandal too human for the spotlight, too fragile for headlines. The morning after the kiss, the studio felt different. No one spoke of it openly, but you could feel the air tighten, the way eyes avoided his, the way laughter suddenly stopped when Telly walked by. In Hollywood, secrets don't need microphones. They travel in coffee cups, in makeup rooms, between pages of call sheets. And soon, that one silent kiss had become a headline waiting to explode. The producers called him in first, then her. 2 separate meetings, one identical warning. Keep your personal life off the set. Kojak can't afford distractions. By the end of that week, she was gone. No announcement. No goodbye. Her desk cleared before sunrise. Some said she left willingly. Others whispered that she was asked to sign a paper, a promise to never speak about what happened that night. A hush order, sealed under the weight of studio power. Telly didn't fight it, didn't ask questions. He just stared at her empty chair the next morning, the faint outline of a coffee ring still on the table. For the first time, the man who always had a quip, always had control, said nothing. He filmed his scenes with perfect precision, sharper than ever, but those who knew him said something had broken behind his eyes. On screen, he was Kojak, smooth, confident, untouchable. Off-screen, he sat alone between takes, cigarette smoke curling around his lollipop like a halo of regret. One night, a close friend found him at a bar in Manhattan, long after filming. The jukebox played Sinatra. Telly stared into his glass and muttered almost to himself, "They called it just a kiss, but it cost me more than a marriage." After that, he never stayed late on set again. No more lingering rehearsals. No more shadows waiting behind the lights. But Hollywood never forgets its whispers. Even years later, when Kojak ended and Telly moved on, the rumors followed him like perfume, faint, sweet, impossible to wash away. They said the kiss was his downfall. He said it was the only thing in his life that ever felt real, and maybe both were true. Years passed. The headlines moved on. New stars rose, new scandals took their place. But for Telly Savalas, the silence never really left. He carried it like an invisible scar, hidden beneath his charm, beneath that famous smile that once made America feel safe. The man who had played the unbreakable detective was, in truth, a prisoner of one fragile memory, a kiss that should never have happened, yet never stopped haunting him. Friends said that as he grew older, the swagger softened. He still cracked jokes, still called everyone baby, but his eyes had that distant gleam, the kind of look only people who've lost something irreplaceable ever have. On quiet nights, long after the fame had cooled, he'd sit in his Beverly Hills home, flipping through old photographs from Kojak. One of them, a faded Polaroid, was tucked behind the frame of his Emmy Award. No one ever saw her face clearly in it. Just her silhouette beside a studio light. He never explained it. He didn't have to. In one of his final interviews, a journalist asked, "Telly, you made America believe in strength, in charm, in control. Was that who you really were?" He smiled, paused, and said softly, "I was just pretending not to be lonely." By the 1990s, his health began to fade. The tough guy who once ruled primetime television now walked slower, spoke quieter. But the lollipop never left his hand, that small, sweet defiance against the bitterness of time. At his funeral in 1994, as the Hollywood crowd gathered, someone placed a single lollipop atop his coffin. A note was attached. It read simply, "Who loves you, baby?" She did. No one knew who sent it. Some said it came from her, the woman whose name had been erased from the credits of his life. Others believed it was just a fan paying tribute. But those who were there said the smile that crossed his face in that final photograph, faint, peaceful, was the first real one in years. Because maybe, after all that silence, he finally got his answer.